Hey guys, FilmCrazyAdam here. To anyone who's rolling the dice and checking me out for the first time, hey, I appreciate it. To those of you who already know me and for some reason keep coming back, hey, I also appreciate it. And thanks for coming back. Anyway, let's get into it. So this week we're going to talk about San Diego Comicon 2022. Ah, yes, San Diego Comicon, the mecca for all things nerd, where once a year there is a huge outpouring of nerds in costume and cosplay who just want to share and have fun and enjoy the culture that has built up over the years, but also to go and find out new things. What's going on? What's coming down the pipeline? What can we expect to see in theaters? And, I don't know if there's ever been a more disappointing Comic-Con in terms of announcements than this. This is just my opinion, as everything is on this channel. If you don't agree with me, then, I hope we can still be friends. But let me tell you why Comic-Con is becoming, or I should say 2022, is... All right, let's just jump into it. Like, right off the bat, we're going to talk about Marvel Phase 5 and how me and actually a large number of people in the universe do not give an S about Marvel anymore. Now, it'll be probably for another video when I'm going to talk about identity politics and woke messaging and intersectionalism and SJW. So let's put that aside, though it's going to creep in here and there. But so let's look at Phase 5 right now. Let's look at what's coming down the pipeline. All right. So next February we have Ant-Man, and that's going to be a movie. We also got Secret Invasion, which is going to be a TV show in the spring, and Guardians 3, a movie, and Echo, Loki Season 2, Marvels, the Marvels, Blade, Ironheart, Agatha, Daredevil, Captain America, yada, 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 yada. All right, so Phase 4, I am not alone in thinking, like, this is just, there's no focus. There's absolutely no kind of continuity where, like, Phase 1 was leading up to the first Avengers movie. And you knew that because each movie kind of fed into the other. At the end of Iron Man 1, you have, in the post-credit scene, you have Nick Fury talking about a team. At the end of Hulk, you have Tony Stark showing up saying, like, we're looking for something. Let's see, at the end of at the end of Hulk, and then there was Iron Man 2, and at the end of Iron Man 2 there was the hammer, and then at the end of Thor, and then in Captain America he wakes up present day, and at the end of that it's all leading in a way, like we're laying down the foundation, and we're going to build this house called the Avengers, and it all made sense. And then Phase 2 is introducing new characters, but it's also starting to introduce these little magical items, these the Infinity Stones in different forms, and it's all kind of building, and there's this subplot. There's something that's happening underneath that you don't know what's going on, but everything seems to be building. Then, of course, Phase 3 arrives, and it culminates with Infinity War and Endgame, and then, boom, it all makes sense.
Of course!
And so it's like, Marvel now is just throwing stuff out there. I don't think they have a plan. If they say they have a plan, there is absolutely nothing to actually telegraph their claims. Like, there is nothing, like, looking at all the movies out right now, you're like, they're, like, these don't connect. There's nothing here that makes me think that there's a continuous story. Maybe I'll be wrong. I doubt that. I feel like when they do pull everything together, it's all going to be shoehorned in, like it's 10 Rings guy, Shang-Chi, the 10 Rings guy, he's going to just show up in whatever movie as just an extra character. Like, there's not going to be anything that built him into the scene, into the story. He's going to show up in Kang's War or Secret Wars, and it's just going to be like, what are you doing here? Like, he's like, I just happen to be okay, I'm getting off topic. I'm babbling again. I know I do this, and I'm trying to get better. But I look at any of these titles. The only thing here that I'm even remotely interested in is Guardians 3. And that's because I loved the first one. And actually, I did not like the second one. I felt like that movie, while it had all the charming characters and everything, and it was fun, it wasn't really a good story. Because the whole story of Guardians 2 was Ego is infected. You know, he tries to make a child and succeeds with Star-Lord. God, what's his name? He succeeds with him, and he's laid these seeds out all over the world, all over the universe, and he just wants to take over the universe. And then they stop him, and that's it. Yeah, there's other stuff that happens, but really that's it. That's the whole story. And I would say like 75% of that movie's exposition. Like when they go to Ego's planet, he has a PowerPoint presentation. He can't, it's not a story that you can show. They start to show the story at the very beginning of the movie in the 80s, but it doesn't, this is one of those things that could have been a great, like over like 3, 4, 5 movies, like laying the seeds, and then like it culminates in a movie. They didn't want to do that just to one group of characters, the Guardians, but you know, like it was just all exposition. He's like, let me show you all this stuff so that you understand the backstory, so that you understand my backstory and what I've been doing. That's literally what Ego does in that movie. And then like it culminates with like it's really stupid how he's like, yeah, and then by the way, I gave your mother cancer, and it was I did that. I never understand that in any movie when the villain does that. When the villain just comes out and says, yes, I'm an evil bastard. I mean, it goes against logic. How like, and like the dialogue is always clunky as hell. But anyway, back on topic, Guardians 3. I'm mildly interested to see how that works out and see if they ruin it. I mean, any of these that I do end up watching is going to be hate watching. Like I'm going to be watching them praying to God, hoping against hope, begging the powers that be to not F these up, and they're going to. Like Blade, that's going to be a PG-13 movie. You can't, no, you can't make Blade into anything other than R movie. If you do, you're just bastardizing the character. I mean, go watch the first Blade movie. The first Blade movie, which is toted on the internet, famously saved Marvel. That their comics were making nothing, and then they made this edgy, rated R, amazingly acted by Wesley Snipes' character, who literally saved the Marvel universe, the Marvel comics, and paved the way for what we have now. And you want to turn that into a PG-13, make him a goof, make him a joke. You're bastardizing that character. You're destroying a legacy character, somebody who's already there, and you're going to put your new spin on it and make them family friendly. It's just going to suck. Daredevil Born Again. I feel like the title alone says what I'm thinking. Daredevil Born Again. Now it's supposed to have what's his name who played Daredevil in the original Netflix Daredevil series, which was amazing. They're getting him back, and he is going to, and it's called Daredevil Born Again. It's going to be a reboot. They're going to reboot the character. They're going to reimagine it. They're going to ignore everything that happened, or if they did, they're going to make some excuse and just ruin it. Mark my words, in 2 years that's going to come out, it's going to be ruined. Unless something drastically changes, it's going to be ruined. Let's see. The character of Echo. Who the hell cares? She was in one of the Marvel shows I didn't watch. I stopped watching the Marvel shows when I realized how slanted they were against, specifically men. How Loki, this brilliant character, by the way, he's got a season 2. I don't know, like, if I watch it, it's going to be hate watching. Like, I'm like, how much more can they destroy this character? Loki, a brilliant strategist, clever, always thinks like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 moves ahead of everybody. and he has style, and he has power, and he has poise, and he has charisma. This guy that time and time again can take advantage of people and just make the situation what he wants it to be, then becomes this blithering idiot who has no powers, is constantly getting his ass kicked by a woman, numerous women, constantly being put in his place. And worse off, it's like he actually like idolizes them, like where he goes on about the female Loki, and she's like, "You're so great, you're so awesome, like you did all this stuff, and no one could touch you." Like, just adulations. It's like, God Almighty, you used to be something. Stop being so pathetic, and stop writing him that way. Again, he used to be somebody to be feared. Like, for like 20 movies, that guy was to be feared. And then they made him a joke. They made him a joke and a side character in his own show. Secret Invasion, I don't care. Echo, like I said, who cares about a background character like that? Agatha, really? We're really doing this? We're really making an Agatha TV show? Because everyone was really like, oh, we got to learn more about her. Ant-Man, I like the Ant-Man movies. They're fun. And I love Paul Rudd. And, is it Michael Douglas? I think it's Michael Douglas. I love both of them. But, I know that they're not the most loved movies by, at large. But, like, I enjoy them. I'm kind of getting tired of Wasp, though. Because she always had attitude. But, like, she kind of took over the second movie. And so I'm not really, like, Ant-Man really was, he was just like a mode of transportation. Even that, he wasn't that good at that. But so, I mean, and yet I still enjoyed that movie. So I can only imagine that he's going to be a background character in his own movie. Captain America, I'm not even seeing that because I think it's terrible how they're portraying the new Captain America. And I feel like it's just we're checking this box. Like, we're making sure we have diverse characters. But anyway, I can keep going on about Marvel, but I'm going to stop right there, and I'm going to shift gears and talk about, oh, God, yeah, the new She-Hulk trailer came out. Maybe I'll break that down and how that trailer just eviscerates and destroys Bruce Banner and as a character, and just, like, anyway, moving on. So there's so John Wick 4 is coming out, and I've loved every single one of those. Like, I would think I would get tired. Like, The Expendables was novel and fun as a popcorn movie, and somehow but it was a one and done. It really was, and yet somehow they made 2 more of them. And I think like they might have done a direct to DVD 4 maybe, or maybe they're making a 4th one. So it's like, how many times can you watch the same thing over and over again? You know what? They're doing it right with John Wick. Now, at some point, you're gonna hit a wall, and it is gonna be too much of a good thing. And I hope they're gonna be smart enough to just end it, and like not just pull a ripcord, pull the eject, and bail. I hope that they send him off. I hope before it gets too weird. But I'm super excited about that. So they showed images for season 3 of Star Trek Picard. Now, I'll tell you right now, I said I would take recommendation. Like, if you guys want me to review anything, I will review whatever you guys want, except for Star Trek Picard. And I will make a video about how much I hate Star Trek Picard and how much they bastardized the Star Trek. I mean, it's being bastardized since Star Trek 2000, J.J. Abrams' Star Trek 2009. Anything that man touches turns to shit. Like that, I hate J.J. Abrams too. But I mean, like, from Star Trek 2009 forward, all of that has been just garbage. Just the biggest pile of S ever. All of it's terrible. All of it. If it's not bad writing and bad editing with J.J. Abrams, those movies, then it's identity. It's everything I hate: identity politics, intersectionalism, woke messaging, and SJW stuff in Star Trek Discovery. Star Trek Discovery is just now Lower Decks is fun. But I watch that in the same way I watch Family Guy. Lower Decks is really fun because, again, it's just supposed to be a silly, goofy, animated comedy show. Like, technically, it takes place within the Star Trek universe, but, like, let's be real, it's not. It's a goofy Family Guy show, Family Guy-esque show. But anyway, yeah, I will never review Star Trek Picard. I watched all of season 1. I watched like 2 or 3 episodes into season 2, and I rage quit that show. Like, I almost threw my remote through my TV because I was like, "You've got to be effing kidding!" No. The deconstruction and character assassination of not just the character of Jean-Luc Picard, but the series in overall. Like, there is huge glaring plot holes that contradict. Like, whoever wrote Star Trek Picard has never actually watched Star Trek The Next Generation, because there is stuff that they blatantly contradict that is inexcusable and unforgivable. Not only that, but like just taking this entire universe, the Star Trek Prime universe, where original series, Next Generation, DS9, Voyager, and Enterprise all exist within the Star Trek Prime universe, and they're trying to say Discovery does too, but no, shut up. No, I'm not going to just go with it. In the Star Trek Prime universe, basically anything post Star Trek Nemesis, or anything that existed prior to Star Trek, like after the events of Star Trek Nemesis and prior, there are... Shoot, where was I going with this? Darn it. I went down a rabbit hole and I got lost and I couldn't make my way back. Or no, better yet, my train of thought just went off the rails and everyone's dead. There's a train wreck on the 6 o'clock news saying, "Oh my God, the humanity, it's just a sea of fire and bodies everywhere. There are no survivors." Yeah, that train of thought just got decimated. I don't know what happened, where I was going with that. I'm sorry. If I remember, maybe I'll add it in somewhere. But, God, what was I going? I'm rambling now. Let's get back to the list. Okay, so Star Trek Picard is they're making a John Carter 2 because that movie was so super successful. Oh, I haven't talked about Rings of Power. Now, as some of you may or may not realize, if not by this poster right here, that I am a very large, very huge Lord of the Rings fan. I've read Lord of the Rings. Dude, in 2nd grade, I read The Lord of the Rings. I didn't have to read a new book for a book report for like 5 years because because The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings. Oh my, and like, yeah, I loved, it started when I first saw the animated Rankin Bass, The Hobbit, when I was like 5, and I loved it. It was amazing. It was great. And then there was Return of the King. Holy crap. And then I found out there was an animated Lord of the Ring movie, which didn't really, that wasn't really all that great. But the Rankin Bass stuff was, and it pulled me in, and I got so into it. So like, I read Lord of the, me being all hipster, like, I liked it before it was cool. I did. I loved it before it was cool, and I was one of those people that went to the midnight viewings of the first 3 movies, all 3 movies. I had to be there the day it came out. The minute it came, I loved those movies. God, man, I love those movies. And so, if you've heard anything online about the Rings of Power, then you know that it is not doing well in the fan realm. Like, the fans hate everything that they are doing. Like, every little piece of information that comes out about this series, the fans are just railing against. Amazon, you have effed up. You have effed up big. You can't take Tolkien. You cannot take this and say, we're going to spin this. We're going to modernize it. We're going to add diversity and messaging. No, you cannot. Especially, like, I can look it up. I can pull the video, or I can look up the letter. Tolkien himself said, like, if, like, any kind of deviation from my characters, from what I wrote down, I considered a bastardization of my stuff. Like, he was kind of a control freak when it came to his material, his IP. And he's like, no, this is how it is. You do not edit my stuff. You do not change my stuff. I did this for a purpose. And it all works the way I want it to. And then people are coming around like, we're going to add gays and blacks and non-binary, and we're going to push women are better than men. And I'm going to go off on I'll be talking about this in videos to come about how that's not story. That's messaging. Like, you can show strong female characters without eviscerating and just sodomizing and just destroying the men characters. You can do strong male and female characters standing side by side without denigrating one over the other. You can be like, she's strong, like Lara Croft. Or like any character from any female character from a Hayao Miyazaki movie. Any of those characters, they're strong, smart, brave characters on their own merits. So I'm gonna dispel anything right now. Like, I'm not attacking this based on the fact that, like, oh, you're just afraid of women. No, I love strong character. I love strong characters, whether they're men or women. I have nothing against orientation or preference. The thing is, I'm all about the story. If you're just injecting it for, I will say, the spite of the story. If you're just injecting, oh, this guy is, these two women are in love with each other and they have a relationship, and they're all over each other, like is kind of happening in NCIS Hawaii right now. But it has nothing to do with the story. Like a medieval story, a Dungeons and Dragons style medieval story where we're just trying to beat the wizard. How does your love life come in? How does your preference come into you beating the wizard? How does that matter? Again, that'll be a video for another time, and I really went off on a rant with that. I'm sorry. I don't think that's what any of you came here for about me talking about San Diego Comicon in this video. I apologize for that, for getting off topic. I don't apologize for my stance. And again, it's nothing against anyone in real life with those orientations and those preferences. I got nothing against that, but like, let's put it this way. In the story Goldilocks and the Three Bears, how does it matter to the story if, like, instead of like Mama Bear, Papa Bear, and little Baby Bear, what if it was Papa Bear and Papa Bear, and instead of Baby Bear, it was they had adopted a wolf cub. So Papa Bear, and adopted wolf cub. That has nothing to do with the story. Nothing. You have, at best, you've taken away from the story because people goes, the hell? No. You're calling attention to something that's not the point of the story. Again, I will go more into depth this on a later video when I talk about the point of a story. Lastly, I'll talk about, since I already just mentioned it, Dungeons and Dragons. All right. As a player of Dungeons and Dragons, it's been a minute, but as a player of Dungeons and Dragons who did this in high school, and having watched the horror and the dumpster fire of the one from the just remembering it, the one from, oh god, watching the movie from the 90s, just remembering it hurts. Having watched just the trailer, I'm like, that's a black dragon. Oh my god, he's using poison spray. That black dragons use poison spray, and the druid is using polymorph, and like they got the fireball, and Chris Pine is a bard. I mean, that's perfect. Now, I'm not going to sit there yet. I'm not going to sit, like, unless they really go off the reservation, I'm not going to nitpick and be like, oh, well, he equipped this armor, which he couldn't really do, and, oh, that guy's using a weapon. Those, dwarves don't use that weapon. Like, I'm not going to do that yet, unless it's, like, really egregious. But Um, but yeah, this is the one movie I'm actually excited about. The one thing that was announced at Comic-Con that I am legit excited about. I'm not excited about anything Marvel. F She-Hulk, F everything that's coming out. Rings of Power is just a sin against God and humanity and Tolkien. Those people should be tried for war crimes. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna end it there because I've been going on for a minute. For everyone who's made it this far, hey, I appreciate you guys for sticking around. If you liked what you heard, I'd also appreciate a sub and a like. If you didn't like what you heard, hey man, I hope we can still be friends, and I appreciate you for sticking around this much. I'm curious what people have opinions of in my comments. And as far as this setup goes, if it's not obvious, yeah, I'm using the camera on my computer because, like I said, it's my other camera doesn't have a good enough wide angle lens, and so I think this is better for me to actually be able to look stuff at my computer, the notes I typed up, and maintain eye contact with you as before, like in the Thor review. But anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. My next thing that I'm going to post is somebody asked, can I post reviews about positive things? Because it's so easy to just tear into something and post a negative review about a movie, about how bad it is, like I did with Thor and I've done in the past. So yes, my next review is actually going to be, and this is really far after. This is a bit after it. You know, I'm coming really late to the party on this one, but I'm gonna review Top Gun Maverick, which came out back in Memorial Day. So it's been almost 2 months now. It's been 2 months now. So I'm going to review that, and I'll tell you right now, it's a good movie, and I like it, and you should go see it. Anyway, that's all I got for now. I'll see you in the next video. Oh, I forgot something. I forgot to mention this. So, I talked all about Marvel, and went down a really deep rabbit hole on that one. But anyway, what about DC? I don't care. I've hated DC since Man of Steel in 2012 or 2013. I raged against that movie to my friends. And my friends were like, oh, no, you're just being too hard on it. Why can't you just enjoy it? Why can't you just go with it? Just go with it. And and it took years, but they came around. They're like, yeah, that movie was kind of ass. But anyway, I don't care about DC movies anymore. I've seen, the last movie I saw was, I never saw Aquaman. Last movie I saw was Wonder Woman 2, which, I mean, I'm like, should I drown myself after watching this? But that movie, it's like every movie except the first Wonder Woman was terrible. Everything except that one movie. Like, that one movie still is actually okay as a standalone by itself. If you take it outside of the whole Zack Snyder verse thing and put it by itself, it's a good movie. But overall, everything that DC, like, I wasn't even that, like, I didn't hate the Batman, but I wasn't really that, at the end, I left confused. I was like, how do I feel about this movie? In the end, I can tell you I didn't like it. Like, if you want me to go into that movie, I'll go into that movie. It's funny that they've announced that they're gonna do a second one, but that's the only thing that they announced at Comic-Con. Was like, yeah, we're doing a second one. There are zero details whatsoever. And it's slated for like years from now. Let's see. But so the two movies that are coming out, Black Adam and Shazam. I would go see Black Adam if only because I am a fan of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I do like him, at least as an actor, and he seems to be a pretty cool person IRL. But that's literally the one reason why I would go see that movie is because of him. I laughed out loud when I saw the trailer for Shazam 2. The first one wasn't that good. And the second one looks so much worse. Oh, God. Like, if I may bend your ear for another minute about, like, Shazam, like, it's just a terrible movie because the actor playing Shazam and the actor playing the kid are not on the same page. The kid is emo and whiny and introverted, whereas Shazam is loud and extroverted and just in everyone's face and is not keeping a low profile. And you could say, oh, well, he's got the powers, and so like that gives him courage, and like, you know, since it's not really him as Shazam, you know, it's kind of like wearing a disguise, and so you can kind of do whatever and have that anonymity to you. But that I'm not buying that, like, because I've seen it done better. I've seen it done better. If you've ever watched Young Justice, which I say is the greatest, at least up to season 3. I've heard some things about season 4, but at least up until season 3, Young Justice is, in my opinion, the greatest animated show ever made in terms of story, character, arcs, depth of character, variety of character, story, about story, and character. Just great show. Shazam is in that. And whoever directed that show or those episodes knew what they were doing, because they had the child voice actor and the adult voice. I don't know. Maybe it was done by the same person, and they just pitched their voice up. I don't know, but I didn't do that much research into that episode before jumping into this right now. But adult Shazam, or like Shazam and the kid, have the same personality. Like, one is just in an adult body and the other one is in a kid body. But it's you can clearly see in the show that this is the same person. The same person plays, you know, is supposed to be these two versions of the same character. That's not it in the live action one. So like, yeah, I didn't like the first one. I'm not going to see the second one unless you guys want me to see it. And so, yeah, I am not excited, and don't give an S about DC. Don't give so much of an S that I totally forgot that they were even a thing while talking about Comic-Con. Anyway, that's all I've got now. Definitely. See you in the next video.